What does success mean? It means remembering our value and continuing to strive hard. A university professor started off one of his classes one day by picking out of his back pocket $100 notes. And in this lecture hall of about 200 or so students, he asked, "How many of you would like this note?" Naturally, all 200 hands went up, every single hand. Each student had their hand up because they wanted the $100 notes. He said, "Interesting." He then said, "Before I let you have it, let me ask you this question." He took the note and folded it in half twice. And then he said, "How many of you still want this note?" Still, all 200 hands went up, every single hand. Now he said, "Let me try something else." He took the note and crumpled it up, scrunched it up into a ball, and then he said, "How many of you want this note now?" Still, all 200 hands went up. Finally, he threw the note on the floor and stepped on it with his shoe, stepping onto it hard. He picked it back up, now covered with dirt, and he said, "How many of you still want this note?" Still, all 200 hands went up. He then said, "Today you have learnt an important lesson. No matter how much I folded, crumpled, crunched up that note, how many times it was trodden on, you still wanted it. Because it was still worth $100. In the same way that $100 note held its value, so do you. So no matter how many times life will tread on you, life will crumple you, life will scrunch you up and fold you in two, you always hold your value. That never diminishes. That spark within us all of bliss, the knowledge, the personality that makes us who we are, that spark will never be taken away. Contrary to what we may think, our value is not determined by the prices of our clothes, our bank balance, or the job titles that we have. We should be building life and not just building our CVs. In the middle of 2009, there was a software engineer that nobody wanted to hire. He had 12 years of experience at Yahoo, but he was rejected by Facebook and then rejected by Twitter. He had been to a great university, he had a great CV, but he was getting no opportunities. So he decided he would build some of his life himself. He teamed up with one of his alumni members at Yahoo and started to create an app and focus on the startup space. In 5 years' time, he sold that app for $19 billion to Facebook. Believe it or not, that was Brian Acton, the co-founder of WhatsApp. A woman was diagnosed with clinical depression. Her marriage had failed and she was jobless with a dependent child. She was on a 4-hour delayed train journey from Manchester to London when she came up with this idea and started to write a book about a wizard. After she finished her writing, she finished her manuscript and took it to 12 publishers and was rejected by all 12. This did not stop her, and she has gone on to become one of the most famous modern authors of our time. Believe it or not, that was J.K. Rowling. A man watched his first company crumble. He was a Harvard University dropout and his first company's demo did not even work. He went on to build Microsoft and his name is Bill Gates. Sometimes things go bad, but failure is just a sign that we need to widen our scope. We need to be ready to build ourselves up to the next level. Then, when we do that, what we end up achieving is far greater than what we had envisioned for ourselves. And this divine plan cannot happen without this intervention that occurs. Life will always find a way of working itself out, but the effort has to come from us. We have to be the ones ready to build. Because if we had it our way, we would just settle. We would just accept what we thought was our goal, what we thought we were chasing. But actually, I've noticed that when you don't get that thing you're chasing, later on down the line, you look back and you reflect, and you realize that what you have achieved is so much more, and what you have gained is so much more. Failures are only failures when you don't learn from them. The definition of insanity is to do the same thing over and over again, expecting different results, according to Einstein. When we learn from our failures, they are not failures. They are lessons. Life will always hit us as hard as it can. But it is up to us to get up, to dust ourselves off, to expand our vision if need be, and carry on. And when we do that, when we keep moving forward, we find that we emerge champions. And we realize that we have far exceeded our original goals and ambitions.